Hey everyone, welcome to. We don't really have a name for this show, do we? This is
That's
our
what makes it good.
live post game with me and LeRoy Butler from Lambeau Field in your rec room.
Yeah, I wish rec rooms for rich folks. I'm broke. I ain't got the rec room. I just set up in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, so here we are, week 2. Green Bay Packers are 2-0, 2-0 in the NFC North after beating the Detroit Lions 42-21 at Lambeau Field in front of about 4 cameramen. That was about it in the stands that I could
But they
see.
still did the leap, though.
Yes, Aaron Jones did. He promised to do it, and he did.
Yeah,
He did.
good.
So, early impressions, there were some ups, there were some downs, but you can't argue with the final score.
Well, you really can, but I think a lot of people were, for some reason, Detroit plays this team tough. You know, coming out, they were leading at one point. It just seemed like to me that Aaron Rodgers was very sharp, but they had so many drops. And Jay Sternberger, I mean, I just don't know how long that can happen. And then I didn't know that Josiah DeGuara, that he wasn't available for ankle. I'm not sure, if Sternberger's going to continue to play, if he continued to drop the ball. But it was the Aaron Jones show, Tom. And I think that's the reason why I like Matt LaFleur's offense. One week it's Devontae Adams ties the record, Aaron Rodgers to get all the headlines. This headline is really Aaron Jones and the offensive line. I mean, with Corey Linsley, again, going to the locker room, we'll talk about injuries later, Tom, but I think this is the reason why some people thinking when Dalvin Cook and Kamara got their deals done, you're thinking, okay, are the Green Bay Packers, are they going to eventually sign Aaron Jones? But they also got to sign David Bakhtiari, but we'll talk about that later as well. The one thing about me real quick about Aaron Jones is the speed factor. I'm not sure why that caught people by surprise. He's just a smooth runner.
Yeah.
His athletic ability in the catching game is something people are so excited about, especially they had to move, Tyler Irvin to wide receiver because of Devontae Adams' injury. So now you can split out Aaron Jones, and then you can play Jamal Williams with him. That makes it a very dangerous offense.
Yeah, Aaron Jones runs with an economy of movement. I think he's just very, very good at taking as less movement as it takes to get as far as he can get. And he's just really quick. I'm looking at the game book, and, he had 236 total yards. You forget that he had 4 catches for 68 yards and a touchdown to go with 18 carries for 168 yards.
That's a good workload.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. What?
No, I said it's a good workload for him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he had 22 touches. That's not bad. And you know what? Let's not forget about Jamal Williams. He had 8 carries for 63 yards, and they were tough yards. I actually went back and looked, and I think he got the running game started. They were kind of, they were the first 7 carries, they had 33 yards. And then Jamal Williams had an 11-yard run and then a 13-yard run. And then the next thing you know, Jones breaks off that 75-yarder. He was an important part. And this is what I think has to be the key for the Packers the rest of the way. Everybody has to contribute.
Yes, and I think it's it can be by committee. It was some people calling for, they wanted A.J. Dillon to play. Well, who are you going to take out? Jamal Williams. And I also saw, Tom, when they drafted A.J. Dillon, I saw some people thinking maybe the Packers would release Jamal Williams. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
very, very valuable. I mean, I thought the object is to keep as many great players as possible. But I like the committee part of it. That keeps Aaron Jones fresh. He's proven that he can handle it. So the coach want to get him 20 touches overall. But he's the type of guy, Aaron Jones, that can probably get up to 30 touches.
Yeah.
But if that thing is flowing the way it's flowing, I think it's pretty good. But Tom, the first thing I wanted to see when I watched the game, which 5 linemen were really on the right side.
Yeah.
Going to start, because I was thinking, was Billy Turner, who was dressed. Were they going to put him at guard, or were they going to put Wagner, let him and Lucas Patrick start? I mean, so what do you think about the offensive line on the right side?
Yeah, so what happened was they worked Billy Turner in practice, and I think they really liked what Rick Wagner did last week.
Yep.
And they said to themselves, well, let's not hurry Billy Turner back.
Yeah.
You know, if we can play another week without him, let's do it. You know, get him over this knee injury completely. And now with Wagner playing 2 straight good games, now they have to think about whether to move Turner back to guard and starting Rick Wagner.
That's what I would do. I would really move Turner back to his natural position. That fortifies the line. But again, I don't know how Corey Linsley, if he's going to be healthy, because Lucas Patrick will have to go to center. Now that kind of changes things in a way. But then again, you still got Runyon if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seemed like to me for the last 2 weeks, you know, they had over 1,000 yards and they lost 3 linemen, you know, at some point during games.
That's an unbelievable.
That doesn't happen.
You know, I looked it up, and they didn't have 1,000 yards till their 4th game last year against the Eagles. You know, and they didn't have 9 touchdowns till their 4th game. They've got 9 offensive touchdowns now. So they are off to a marvelous start. But I think your point about, you know, Adams was a star last week. This week, Patricia came out, and that's what, you know, the Bill Belichick system is. Your best player, we're not going to let him beat you. And so they double covered him the whole game. But what did that do? That left a lot of open lanes for Aaron Jones to run. And that's going to be the kind of thing that they have to keep taking advantage of. Don't you think?
Yeah, I like to see MVS be more cleaner on some of his catches. Because they give him opportunities. He has the speed. He has everything. I want him to get a little bit more swagger because nobody can cover him down the field. I mean, it's truly amazing. Got everything you want in a receiver. You just got to get his confidence together. You know, a lot of people are starting to bail on him, but I'm not. Tom, I think this guy's going to be a big-time player. He's going to remind you of Corey Bradford. You remember Corey Bradford?
But he's got the potential to be better than Corey Bradford.
No question.
Corey Bradford was just an athlete.
Just put him out there, let him run. He's a little sharper. Yeah.
You know, Valdez-Scantling is just an interesting case. They've got to, like you said, they've got to get his confidence up and figure out a way to use him. You know, right now you saw Rodgers is just trying to throw him open, and he's running by people. But they've got to, I think maybe they need to get him the ball in shorter areas and let him run with it and try to build up his confidence a little bit. I think you make a great point there.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to do that with both guys, him and Allen Lazard. You know, Allen Lazard, big catch radius, very reliable. But
great blocker.
Yeah, and that's what they want. They want the flexibility of bringing these guys in tight and make them good blocks. Because especially with then I didn't even know. I mean, during the game, I said, "Wait a minute, where'd they get the fullback from?" They just got a snuck a guy out there. But having a fullback open up the play action, you can run the lead option. There's a lot of things you can do. They did a lot of, you know, last week they did a lot of jet sweeps. This week they faked the jet sweep and handed off to Aaron Jones. So the offense is starting to really evolve into each week a different game plan. Now, we all know, and we'll talk about this on 5 Questions, when you play the Saints, it's going to be different when you play Captain Jordan and those guys. We'll get into that. But now it just seems like to me that if something isn't working, like the passing game, Aaron Rodgers put up big numbers last week. This week, the running game just did it all. And it was just very unselfish of the team to just, again, pick your poison. What can we be good at? And it was the run game today.
Yeah, next week the Saints will put Marshawn Lattimore on
Exactly.
Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams left the game with a hamstring injury. I think they probably were being cautious that maybe he felt some tug, and it was fairly late in the game.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. You know how hamstrings are, but. Yeah, the Saints will be able to put a really quality corner on him and not have to double him down after down after down. So that's where Matt LaFleur is going to have to figure out a good game plan to stress them in many different ways.
Yeah, they seem to be all on. Everybody's bought into this offense can be very explosive, but every time these guys drop something, Tom, that opens up for people to say they need another receiver. You can put that to bed by catching everything cleanly.
Yeah.
You really can do that. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting asked about it. So if you ever want to stop that, just like if you don't want to hear Kenny Clark's name every 15 seconds, then play better against the run up front. Martravius Adams did not have a great game.
No.
And they need him to play because Lancaster went out. They don't have enough bodies up front. So they need Kiki to stay healthy. Otherwise, you get these big linemen out on these linebackers, and it could be tough sledding.
Yeah, and we saw some of that early on with Johnson. They were getting their linemen out on the linebackers, and he was getting some nice yardage. Let's talk about the defense. They kind of bounce back, and that Chandon Sullivan interception was huge.
Yes, it was.
I think Rashawn Gary had a really nice game.
So happy for him.
Yeah, but they're still giving up too many long plays.
Yeah.
I don't get that. That's supposed to be what they're not supposed to give up.
Yeah, and I think too, they had on third down. The Lions were 5 for 5 on third down. I mean, you can't have that. Those are drive sustaining. I mean, it's good to see Jair Alexander play well because remember, every time they played Marvin Jones Jr., this guy put up big numbers. He did score, but he didn't get it away from you, and I thought that was good. But I'm also still concerned, with their touchdown, with their safety, has been a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah. What did you see on that play?
Different.
What did you see on that Amendola touchdown?
I think a lot of it, too, is trusting what you see. That's the one thing about safeties. You got to trust what you see and then act on it. And you got to be athletic enough to recover. And I'm sure Jerry Gray and the coaching staff is going to go look back there because I don't know if Michael Thomas is going to play next week. But they got a lot of receivers and gadget guys that they want to put to that third level. That means 25 yards down the field. And they got a lot of stuff moving around. You got to be fundamentally sound. And that may be one of the few plays we may pick on X's and O's. Because remember last week we got to play X's and O's with Savage. So this week, it may be your other safety. But again, the pick six by Sullivan kind of covers a lot of that up. But they got to get a better pass rush at times as well. And I think that's a good thing about Rashawn Gary because then Smith goes on the inside.
Yeah.
Makes you a lot more athletic, as you would say, when you got one lineman out there and it's just Kiki.
Yep. I think you hit the nail on the head that their pass rush has to get in a groove. All right, Bill's telling me that we got a lot of comments on Facebook, so let's take some.
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of your fans on your Facebook page want to ask us some questions, so fire away. LeRoy Butler fans. Oh, let's see. Maybe I got to hit. There we go. All right. Let's see what we got here. Do you think they should bring back fans in the stands like other teams are doing?
I would wait another few weeks. I really would. I will wait to kind of see how, because they did, I think, Kansas City first game. They had maybe a fan or two may gotten exposed to COVID-19. At this point, I will wait a few. I mean, I would just wait a few more weeks and just maybe after the bye week reassess how the COVID-19 has, hit the state and in the Green Bay area, and then make a decision based on that. Because the Cowboys, they were very aggressive with the fans and let them come in. But if these guys get sick, I mean, I don't know if they can sue the team or not, but I think for the most part, it's going to be difficult, because that's where people, especially defense, we love the fans.
Yeah.
The fans would be a little bit more patient and just kind of see how it plays out.
You really have to assess what's going on in the community. Yeah. And in our community right now, we're having an explosion of COVID.
Yeah.
Especially up here in the Fox Valley. So they got to be really careful about that. I mean, not just for the players, but for the general public. You have to care about your fans.
Yeah.
So, okay. David Klein asks, do the Packers still need a wide receiver, or are they good?
See, that ain't, if you're a Packers and you see David's question, 6 or 7 drops makes you ask that question.
Yeah.
Had they catch him cleanly, maybe David wouldn't ask that question. So now let's answer the question. I think they'll give it one more week to see how their young guys, MVS, because St. Brown is on IR again.
Yeah. So
they got to find out Lazard, the tight ends, if they continue to see drops. I think which they always do their due diligence to go look and see if can they bring somebody in.
Yeah.
Or maybe letting Taylor play. So it's a lot of options they got there. But I know what people want. Antonio Browns or
no, that's not
Bryant,
no.
Or trading for somebody.
Yeah, but they have to be concerned about their salary cap. They have got to get.
Yeah, they only got like $9 million exactly.
Yeah, you can't take on a big salary because you've got to get Aaron Jones signed and you got to get Bakhtiari signed. So
maybe the minimum salary of a guy that you're gonna pay him a lot is just a prove it type deal. I don't know, But this offense again got 1,000 yards in 2 games. They may come back and say we don't really want to mess up the chemistry right now. But as long as you see 6, 7, 8 drops, David is going to keep asking those questions, and as he should.
All right. Now, Wally has a good question here. I'm interested to hear what you said. Who is their best tight end right now?
Oh, Robert Tonyan is the best tight end. Tonyan does everything for you. He gives you everything you need for a tight end. Now, he did have a drop because I expect him to make that play. He gives you everything you need in the passing game. He's a willing for blocker, and he has the swagger that I want. Now, I'm an expert, Tom, in 2 areas, mainly everything. Safety and tight end. So that's a good question. I think Robert Tonyan's the guy. I think he started today. But again, Josiah DeGuara didn't play. But Robert Tonyan's your guy. If he stays healthy, he can give you what you need at the tight end position that you won't even miss Jimmy Graham. I am so excited for him.
Yeah, I think Tanyan's got a lot, and then DeGuara is going to grow as a tight end. He's so multiple.
Army knife. He does everything.
Yeah. I don't know what to call him.
Right. Yeah. I definitely would want on my team.
Michelle wants to know if you think this is going to be MVS's year. We kind of talked about that.
Michelle. Thank you for asking that question.
But I still think that's a good question.
It is. I'm high on him, and I think he can be really good. Okay, he can be a really good number 2, but you got to catch the ball. If you don't catch the ball, then you got to be available. I remember last year he dropped a couple balls. They didn't throw for him for 6 games. This year they say, okay, listen, you're gonna make us either look good or you're gonna make us look bad by not signing a wide receiver in the draft. We like your height, your weight, we like your speed. We don't love your hands. So until he steps up, you're going to get these questions. So, Michelle, yes, I believe in MVS, and I'm not just saying that because I just think we got to give him some time to develop, and this is a part of developing. You know that, Tom.
Yeah.
Now and then, but we shouldn't have to wince every time the ball is coming towards you. We should say, "Oh, nope, that's automatic." So again, if he continues to kind of decline in catching cleanly, they may want to bring in somebody else. But if not, let him grow. Let him grow. But you got to catch the ball.
Yep. You brought up the draft, and all year the question is going to be: should they have drafted either a wide receiver or an inside linebacker instead of Jordan Love?
Yeah.
We will not know for 3 years whether this is a good draft pick, but we do know, Patrick Queen is starting for the Baltimore Ravens, I believe.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, playing pretty well. And that's a guy they could have moved to get. I don't know what else we can say about it other than they're just banking on Jordan Love coming through for him later.
Is that the thing about it? He has a chance to develop because of Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle's the backup. He's been in the office now 2 years. I think he's a very good player. You got to let him develop. Let him stay in that oven. He's not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at him and we're putting some sauce on him, but we're putting him back in that oven for a few more years. You can win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. But if Aaron Rodgers, something happens, and Tim Boyle is your guy to get you through that. So if Aaron Rodgers, for some reason, leaves in 3 years and he's not ready, you can play Boyle for 1 more year until he's ready. But the Packers want their cake and eat it too. Win in the future and win now, and they're doing that.
And who knows, maybe drafting Jordan Love lit a fire under Rodgers. Maybe that was just the thing he needed. I don't know.
Hey, listen, he don't need no. Aaron Rodgers is motivated when he wake up. Y'all media guys kill me with that. It's a revenge for. He's trying to get back at the Packers. Aaron always plays well. He don't need.
Oh, that's not true.
Anyway, he don't need that. He's already motivated.
He's well. You can tell he's invested in this offense, and that is big. I just
think when you're good, you're good. You don't need any motivation.
Yeah.
I just believe in him, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, we'll go with that.
You can say we need to, but it's the truth.
We need to touch on some sponsors before we go. First, I'll say please go to JS Online and PackersNews.com so you can watch LeRoy and I again on 5 questions, and especially X's and O's. We got this new cool diagram thing. So please subscribe to JS Online, that's the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, or Packers News. And you can also join my live blog during the games. Cool. And you have... Yeah,
first I have a new sponsor, the Jewelry Center. They have 3 locations. You can go to shoptjc.com if you want to pop the question. That's where I got my wife's wedding ring from. Dean Murray is the owner. He's truly amazing. And my new brat is coming out in a few weeks. You can go to Venny'sSausage.com and you can actually send him a message and he can get you all squared away. So we should have everything up in a couple. I'm so excited about it. LeRoy's Game Day brats, because everybody in Wisconsin loves brats. Yeah. So I now got my own brat, so I'm really excited.
You give me a case, and I'll cook them up in the parking lot and hand them out to people.
I'll give Janet a case, give you one, and give Bill Schultz, our executive producer, give him a case. You don't need it.
You are cheap to the end.
Yes, I am. And I can host pub and eatery in Racine, Wisconsin. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned for 5 questions. Again, go to PackerNews.com, JS Online. We love you guys. Thank you so much.